But you know, it's funny. You guys talked about the divorce rate, and we're talking about all these relationships that are being forced and toxic. You know, we get in relationships. We start out. You look good. I look good. I throw my Mac on. You accept my Mac. You know, the women always make men feel like they macking them, and they already know who they want.
Right, there
you know what I'm saying? And it's just up to you not to mess it up.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right. So, but they make us feel good.
That's good. That's good.
Hey, Scooter, you know, Mac Daddy, whatever. We go out on a few dates. We have some sex. Now we a couple, right? Things are going good.
And that's how it works.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
We go out, have some sex.
We show up at all the barbecues together.
Right.
You know,
So now we're a couple.
Everybody think we look good together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm still on my best behavior. You still on your best behavior. I'm holding in my farts around you when we together. You know, but eventually that honeymoon stage wears off.
Okay, let's talk about that.
Now what?
Now what?
Wow.
What do we do?
That's a very good question.
Now what? now
Going back with Playboy.
Yeah. Now you find out, right? You know, we may even get to the point where, you know, we move in together.
Yes.
And that's the real test.
Oh,
you know, because now, you know, I just don't see you when you all done up.
Right.
You know, now I see the real you.
Right.
I see how you keep your house.
Yes.
You know,
how you raise your children.
Yeah, how you raise your children. You know, what you're watching on television at night. Is it all about Real Housewives? Is it all about Love and Hip Hop?
Right.
You know, is there some spirituality in there? You know, are you feeding your spirit?
Yes.
You know, what are you doing? All this stuff comes up. Honeymoon's over. We have a couple of disagreements, right? I find out your credit score. I pick up the phone and it's a bill collector at one time. You know, and you was fronting, telling me all is well.
Right.
Now what?
And you was in your sister's car.
Exactly. Now what? And again, it directly correlates to the divorce rate, if you will, if it gets to that point of being married, but also to the breakup of these relationships, just people dating who are not married, you know, because we don't really know who we're dating. You know, we're caught up in that honeymoon. It feels good.
Right.
I'm gonna rock this for as long as it feels good. And when that wears off, because it's gonna wear off.
Of course.
I don't know how to deal with the real you.
You know what the deal is? I think the problem is the death of courtship.
Yes.
No one nowadays.
Wait, say that again. Say it again.
Death of courtship.
Because we don't know what that is anymore.
No.
We don't know what that is anymore.
And it needs to be regenerated because it was Steve, you said it. Why man and women were created. There can't be one without the other.
Correct.
Right? So my point is, there's no way I'm going to get to know who you are unless we converse, unless we build something. And through courtship, this is what happened years ago. You know, when my grandfather and I was younger, my grandparents married 70 years.
Wow.
70. He would take me back. Yes, bro.
God bless them.
He took me back, and it was something that was given down the generation, and it also stems from what you first said about the note. Because back in his time, he would let the woman wear his football jacket. You got the letter, that was my woman. That's part of courtship. You know what I'm saying? That was that note. Check yes or no. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, and it was not. See, I would come to believe that sex confuses things. You know, and because blurs the lens. Yes. And because society and the media, it just perpetuates sex. Everybody's so sex driven. So the courtship phase is so just fades to black. Right? So now we have convinced women, yo, listen, if you don't give me that in a few days,
it's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
On to the next one.
But I'm going to tell you what's worse than that. Women in their own sisterhood are screwing it up for women. Because now what happens? They go, did you, what's up with you and Rob going? How you and Rob doing?
Yes.
Oh, well, you know, we cool. What, did you give him something yet? Nah. It's been 2 months. Girl, you better give him something to go find somebody else. So now she's jumping in a situation that she's not comfortable or maybe conducive with yet. You know what I mean? So I think courtship is, it leads to your question.
Correct.
I think that once we understand who we're dealing with, after we come to cleanse ourselves, then we'll have a better situation where, like my grandparents, I'm sure they had ups and downs.
Correct.
You know what I mean? But they was able to weather the storm. And I believe, this is my own, that is what a true soulmate is. I don't believe in that whole Hollywood, you know, you walking by each other and one look.
No, love at first sight.
Yeah.
There's no love at first sight.
No.
I can't love you, I don't know you.
It's lust at first sight.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's
So
exactly. I don't even know you.
Right.
You know, and people throw around the word love too loosely.
Yes, I agree.
You know, I may like you a lot. You know, I may like the way you look a lot. You may make me feel a certain way a lot, but I can't love you right away.
When I was doing a women's conference, you know, I had looking for speakers, so I came across Devon Franklin, Megan Good's husband.
Yes.
So, and researching him, and his price point was just a little bit above my budget at that point. But one of the things that intrigued me was he waited to have sex with Megan. He waited to have sex with Megan Good until he got married. So I'm like, I want that man to come speak in my conference. I know if that was me, and I wasn't making good, it'd be a wrap. And so I made that comment. Long story short, I have a friend. We've been talking, you know, we're going real slow, going back to the courtship process, and it's been about maybe 4 months or so now. And so I took sex off the table.
Interesting.
I took sex off the table. I said, we had a conversation one time, and she was shocked. She was like, "You serious?" I did it because I can't tell, once sex is involved, if I really love the person.
Correct.
Right.
Or if I lust the person.
Or if I'm lusting the person.
Right.
So I said to her, listen, you know, if and when it happens, but you know, it happened. I said, if nothing else, you walk away from me.
Right.
I never touched you, and I walk away with the Playboy magazine.
And there's not as much scar tissue.
And there's not much scar tissue. Yeah.
But neither one.
Because the emotions didn't come into play because of the sex.
Right.
And I did that for me. I'm like, you know, and it's not that it's not hard. It's not that, I mean, she is gorgeous, and she, you know, sometimes I'm like, I be talking to God like, God, okay, your son gonna sin today because I split him. But I needed to do it for myself. But back to what you're saying, because what I'm committed to is my next relationship that I'm serious about is my last relationship.
Correct.
And so I need all of the blurred lines that and you know what too, as men, we have a lot of bad relationship habits.
Yes.
When we date somebody, we jump into sex so fast, and we don't know about their family, we don't know about their aunts, uncles, we don't even know we can afford their lifestyle.
Right.
And so these are some of the things I'm looking at, like you said, during the courtship process and going old school with it. Let me get to know you. There's some things I like about you. There's some things I don't like about you.
Right.
There's some things about myself when I think about my bucket. I don't like that in my bucket. You know, and it's really, really important that if we want our relationships to last, if we want the marriages to last, it's gonna be during that courtship process.
Right.
And ladies, it is not your responsibility to court the whole time. If he's not taking the initiative, if he's not stepping up, if he's not taking you out, if he's not doing it, if he's not writing you letters, I'm not talking about just buying you stuff. I'm talking about initiating. If he's not willing to wait to have sex with you, then you need to wait for him.
Yeah.
And this is where we get all, and I'm to get so preachy real quick, but
Wow.
I know it comes out. I can't help it. But this is where we mess up at, and this is why the divorce rate is so high. I know I get real loud, get real preachy.
To take it,
what I do.
To take it back to the hood, right? Biggie said it best.
Give it to me.
Right? Tell me what your interests are. Who you be with. Person. So like we're talking, right? You know, and we're dating. So where are you going with this? Where do you see this going?
What are your intentions?
Exactly. Find out. I guarantee you that most people, men and women, will get stuck for a second.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because it's out the norm.
Yeah, you know, I'm just enjoying dinner. We'll deal with tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
And you know what though? I'm sorry to cut you off. That is great.
Yeah, it's true.
We're in the moment. Women are future.
Yeah.
So my point is, that's how you're made.
Yeah.
So start acting like it. Ask questions. Women are afraid to ask questions.
And it creates interesting dialogue.
Yes.
Let me tell you this.
It's just I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Sorry.
It creates not just interesting, coffee talk,
right?
But it's insight that you can take back and really reflect on, like, how far do I want to take this based on what she told me or based on what he told me.
That's right.
Are we like-minded? Are we moving in the same direction?
Yeah.
Or is he 45 coming out with an album, or old ass records? I'm waiting for my album to drop.
Yeah, word up, son.
And my social security check to come. All in the same day. Yo, it's
Hilarious.
a good day, son. My social security check gonna come and my album gonna drop on the same day.
But you're right though, because we blur the line so much. You know what? One of the sexiest things I heard during this date chat courtship process, we had a conversation one time. We was talking about money, because you don't talk about money.
Yeah.
And she said, well, I feel like we share everything, but if you're down, I pitch in, I help out.
Right.
If I'm down, you pitch in, you help out. And she said, if we get a house, we have a house, but if we need to downgrade and have an apartment, as long as we're in love, I was like, oh, I like you.
Now you know you got to ride or die.
There you go.
I'm like, oh, I like.
Now you know it's not just all about. Now that's key information in your processing
It's the
development.
sexiest of my life.
Like, okay,
I was like Playboy in the bathroom.
So again, here's and everybody. I think everybody should have a list. I think it kind of goes against the grain, because we always talk about the list that women have about the man who needs to be 6'4" and fine and make 12 figures and all that stuff, but. You need to take an inventory of the person that you may be considering living with for the rest of your life.
That's the biggest investment. Other than buying a house. I think bigger than a house.
100%.
Yes.
Well, relationship is an investment. Relationship is an investment.
It is an investment.
It's an investment that you participate in daily, and you don't see the payoff until years later.
Correct.
Right.
It's an investment.
Correct. But the whole thing is, and you said it. You have found someone who, and that's key, because again, what's going to happen, I'll tell a story, and I don't mean to jump around, right? I proposed to my wife in front of about 250 people. I used to promote, and I used to always throw a birthday party, and I proposed to her at my birthday party. And so they sung happy birthday, and then I got on the mic, and leading up to the proposal, I said, I have to give all the praises to the person who was with me when I had more money and when I had no money.
Right.
You understand?
Absolutely.
That was so very important.
Absolutely.
For my security.
Right.
And here it is. I'm going to get transparent. Right? Will you leave me if I don't have enough? I was able to be secure. I had my own business. Some things went awry, and I had to close up shop, and I had a hefty overhead monthly. So I went through my savings really quick. Right, it was time to get back in the workforce, and it was at a point where I was living in the Bronx. I needed to get to Jersey for a job interview, and I didn't have gas money. Right.
Wow.
She went out, she helped me formulate my resume, because I was in business for myself for so long, I didn't have a resume updated. She stayed up all night with me to help me formulate my resume, and went and got the gas money for me to go on this interview, right? I got the job. I was very successful at the job. I made 6 figures at the job, but the point of it was I didn't have the pressure of, is she going to leave me in the back of my mind when I was on this interview. I knew I had somebody who was with me if I had more money, if I had no money. And it took a lot of pressure off of me. Unnecessary pressure about worrying about how solid my relationship is, because I'm in kind of a valley right now. At least I don't got to worry about my wife going out and getting, or she wasn't my wife at the time, my lady going out and being with the next guy who's got, you know, the money in the car and all that stuff. I can focus all my energy on getting where I need to be again.
Right.
And it was a big help. Big help. So you finding that out in the beginning is great. That's you know, I took the long scenic route, but I'm coming back to you making the point that you have somebody who said, "Yo, it don't matter if we in the mansion or if we in the studio, I'm with you."
And you know too, you know, I say this a lot. You know, God willing, you know, if it works out, great. You know, and if not, you know, you have your friendship. But then she also taught me another skill or another thing I want on my plate when I do get married.
To make you a better man.
To make me a better man.
See, that's the key.
Yeah. To make me a better man.
I tell a lot of my brothers, your key in life, I mean, find your purpose.
Yes.
And to be better than what you are now. And this goes to other women, because, you know, sometimes we have residue of the playership thing. You know what I mean? And I speak to women when I say also, if you're with someone that have someone and you see they're happy, just let it go.
Absolutely.
You understand what I'm saying? See, that's what life is about. The courtship thing, and we're taught in this world right now to be, I call it the new Trinity. Me, myself, and I. It's all about me. Yes. So I really don't care what Steve wants. Listen, Steve, this is what we need to do. And because Steve wants to be with me so much, he'll do it. He'll comply, you know? And I think that once we get out to be other-centered than self-centered, I think we'll be better off. And it goes right back to your question. So where are we now?
Now that the honeymoon's over.
Where we are now, it should be in a better situation because we did all the things that needed to be done.
We got to work at it.